My guest today is a star of Australian athletics. She's a two-time Paralympian, World Championships, and Commonwealth Games medalist, Australian record holder. She's also a uni student and so much more. Rhiannon Clarke, how are you today?
Hi, I'm going amazing, thank you.
Thanks. Well, I'm so excited to finally be chatting to you, Rhiannon. You're studying wildlife conservation at uni, which is pretty cool. But so how have you always had that passion? Like what makes you love animals like so much?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like animals, they're so cool and interesting to learning about all the different behavior and how animals interact in the wild is really like awesome. And it's just something that's so unique and it's very different to sport and athletics. And it's something to kind of, yeah, keep my mind off competitions and training and stuff like that when I'm actually like trying to, yeah, I guess like not think about it too much.
Yeah. So do you see yourself doing this like alongside like your athletics career? Like, do you think this is something that you want to keep doing?
Yeah, and definitely I've got quite a few more years left at uni, so hopefully I guess my uni I've probably finished that about similar times to when I'm wrapping up my career. So I think it will kind of tie in well and then hopefully I can get some sort of zoology job once I've graduated.
Yeah, good luck with all of that. I'm sure it'll take a few more years, but good luck. So just I wanted to go back now, just kind of going back to your childhood. So you were born with cerebral palsy, which some people might know, but I just wanted to ask a bit like how it, I guess, affected you in those early years, like when you were a kid.
Yeah, so yeah, I was born with cerebral palsy. It's a neurological condition, so affecting the brain. And pretty much for, well, I guess for everyone with CP, it affects the message from the brain to the muscles. So I've heard like some people kind of use an example of like a walkie-talkie that's got a bit of interference between it, and that's kind of just how the, I guess, connections are yeah, interfered. But for me, it affects my right arm and both my legs, and it mainly just affects my balance, coordination. I get fatigued quite easily. My muscles are also like tight, but they're also weak. But I've got a very mild form of cerebral palsy, so it's not as visible when I'm walking around, but it definitely impacts my daily life and my training and competition.
Yeah, so like you said, when you were younger, like it wasn't like super visible, and I guess even now, but were you like aware, like at school and around like other kids your age, that you were like a bit different in that sense? Like, did you know?
Yeah, no, I think I definitely knew. And I've been asked so many times about the time that I was actually told that I had cerebral palsy. And I think just growing up and I was on the baby Botox trials. So I was on, and then so many other studies as well growing up. So I kind of just knew that there was something a bit different to me. And I also had like different equipment that I used at school, like a special chair, special pens. And I went to so many different physio and OT appointments. So somewhat I kind of knew about it. And I guess like kind of just growing up, I just could see compared to my peers that I was pretty bad at sport. Like I would drop the ball when we played any sort of ball sports. I have, yeah, really bad hand-eye coordination. I was also the one that would come last, like at the running races in primary school as well. And yeah, I somewhat didn't understand why, but then I also kind of also knew. So that was interesting growing up.
Yeah, well, you said you weren't super good at like ball sports and stuff like that, which is interesting because I know that you did sports like swimming, horse riding, like ballroom dancing. So was that like, did you want to get into those sports or was it like your parents who like encouraged you to get into them? Like, how did you find them?
Yeah, it was definitely my mum that forced me to get into a lot of sports. Lots of kids with CP do horse riding and also swimming. So kind of just like she saw that they were very helpful and which I'm so grateful she pushed me into those, even though I was somewhat reluctant to start a lot of the sports, especially athletics. But I feel like it's been the best for me. If I take too long sitting around and just, I guess like being inactive for a decent period of time, my body just actually feels way worse compared to when I'm actually like training and competing.
So did you ever see like maybe like a career like in some of those sports or was it just like for fun?
I don't know, maybe like swimming and horse riding, I somewhat thought there could be a pathway for it, but I didn't really understand too much. Like, I didn't really even know about the Paralympics when I was young. I only found out about the Paralympics properly when I got into athletics. So, I don't know. I think I just did those just to enjoy it. And I'm still very competitive on like a local level, but they were just kind of fun to have and something just to get out into the community and be active.
Yeah, I do want to know a bit more about ballroom dancing though, which is a pretty cool one. Like, would you ever consider going on something like Dancing with the Stars? I feel like you'd be the perfect person.
I have said that before because I feel like no one would kind of really know that I'd, yeah, have a ballroom dancing background. It's a very random sport, but I've always kind of wanted to do dance as a kid. But my mum kind of thought ballroom dancing would be a pretty useful one to do. And I am so glad she put me in it. It's so fun. And I guess it's somewhat like a hidden talent, but it's kind of hard to find someone else to dance with because not many
True.
people know how to ballroom dance.
So have you still got the skills now, do you think?
I would say so. I wonder if I might actually do. It wasn't too long ago that I stopped. It was probably about, gosh, maybe it was about 5 or 6 years ago,
Oh,
so it's
okay.
still actually a while ago. I still have my dancing shoes in the cupboard, just kind of not wearing them because want to keep the ankles as safe as possible.
Yeah. Got to start a petition. Get Rhiannon on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
But yeah, just about like para athletics now. I know you mentioned it before, but I want to know like how did you end up finding out about it? How did you get into it?
Yeah, so kind of as I said, I was so bad at running. I'd become last in all the races and yeah, I'd just be the one that kind of no one would ever thought would, I guess, have a job in athletics type of thing. But my physio, who I'd been seeing since I was a baby, she actually told my mum and I when I was at an appointment that there was a para athletics come try day coming up, and we didn't really like understand too much about it, but we're like, okay, like, well, my mum was like, okay, we'll or take her along. And I remember on the day I just sat on the couch and was like, I'm not going. I don't want to go. I don't want people to judge me and because I'm just terrible at running and I'm just so bad at sport. But she, forced me to go and I guess I tried it out. And once I was actually there, I was like, this is kind of fun. And a coach came up to me and said, did you actually know that one day like you could go to the Paralympics? Like your disability is classifiable for a Paralympic classification. And yeah, I feel like that was a big turning point. I had no clue that there was even a pathway for me in para sport, let alone, able to actually compete at the Paralympics. So that moment literally just changed my life. And if I didn't go to that one day, I pro definitely would not be here right now. So it's very interesting.
Well, yeah, like do you remember how you were feeling like when you were told that, like going from like being a really bad runner, I guess, like you said, to then being like, I could actually go to the Paralympics for that.
Yeah, I feel like I was somewhat like shocked and being like, wait, like actually? And then but it also kind of turned on that like motivation. It's like, oh my gosh, like I've got a chance for this. And it kind of just fueled my passion for the sport. And I'm a very competitive person. I always want to do my best. So yeah, that moment changed everything.
Wow. And I guess like even after you like got into it, I know a lot of kids have started like they start little A's on like athletics when they're quite young. So were there any like doubts because you'd started like I guess a bit later than normal at 12? Like were there any doubts when you actually like got into it?
Yeah, I guess like I was definitely starting and there were lots of like younger kids around me and also kids who'd been, gone through that whole little athletics path. And I didn't really, I guess, know too many people at the time, and there weren't many paras around, so it was kind of hard. I felt like I was a little bit alone in the sport when I began, and somewhat thought like, oh, maybe I would be better if I did little athletics. But I'm quite glad that I started when I did, and it just kind of kept me going because there's such a big dropout rate of women in sport, and we need to, of course, like stop that from happening because we need to keep more girls in sport. Um, but yeah, for me, I'm kind of just glad I started when I did. It gave me an opportunity to do other sports as a kid and yeah, really just find my path in the sport.
Yeah, well, I did actually want to touch on that a bit more later, but you also mentioned the classifications a bit before. So, for those who don't know, like often in the multi-class races, you're competing against other people who don't have the like same disability as you. I guess it doesn't affect you in the same way. So, can you explain what like the multi-class is a little bit?
Yeah, so for state and national competitions, we use a multi-class scoring system compared to the Paralympics and World Champs and also Commonwealth Games where it's just your classification. So for those ones, it's first across the line wins, but for national and state events, it works out on a percentage. So it's usually a percentage of similar time to what the world record is for your classification. Some of them, it's a bit different depending if you've got a Paralympic pathway event or if it's just like a national or world champs pathway event. And pretty much they divide the world record time or the baseline time by your time, and then whoever gets the highest percentage wins. So that's why at nationals, like you would see someone crossing the line and they might not even podium, or someone, who comes last in the final, they end up winning gold. So it's a fair way to work it out. And I think it just needs a bit more like hype around it and more people to understand, how it all works. And because it's a really cool system how it works and it makes it so much more fair. And you have to be running some really fast times. Like nationals this year, we all needed over 90% to get into that final, which
Wow.
previous years it's been a bit easier, but this year, like you had to run it very, very fast. So yeah, I guess like in comparison to like able body, 90% of the world record is, yeah, very speedy.
Well, how does that like affect your mindset? Because I guess like you said, like you could be coming first, but actually you don't even make the podium or you don't make the finals. Like how does that affect you when you're running?
Yeah, I think you've got to kind of go into it like you're running your own race because if you're comparing yourself to others, like it doesn't really work. You want to be running the best you can. You don't want to just kind of settle for crossing the line a little bit in front of someone. You want to be falling over that line and you want to be giving your all to the end. So it's kind of you've got to develop a mindset that's, yeah, I guess very different to other sports.
I'm sure you've like gotten used to it as well with a lot of like practice and a lot of races.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, I've got some pretty fast girls that I chase at nationals. So I have, yeah, even though I'm running my own race, I do, yeah, kind of like to push myself to see if I can beat them, which is good.
That's true. Well, I did just want to kind of on a bit of a different note. I wanted to go back to 2018 when you're 15 years old, which is the same age that I am now, and you've been picked for the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, and your roommate is Madison de Rozario, who I think you've mentioned is like, a real big inspiration for you. But like, what was that time like for you getting to share a room with her?
Oh my gosh. Well, firstly, I didn't even expect myself to like go to the Commonwealth Games. I had no like kind of idea that I would be going that year going into 2018. I remember seeing my name on like the list of like people who had qualifiers and being like, what? Like this is actually like serious. I ended up going to both Open and Junior Nationals that year, plus international classifications. So it was a big year in itself and year 10. But yeah, actually like making it to the village, it was so surreal. And so I shared a room with Eliza O'Connell, and then in the room, well, in the pod, was Madison de Rozario and Angie Ballard. So it was, I feel like the best roommates I could have asked for. I hope I wasn't too annoying to them, being the little young 15-year-old with my eyes wide open and so excited just to be there. The village was a very cool experience for a 15-year-old, just walking around getting free food. There was like pools, like so many different pools you could go swim in, and just like meeting so many people from other countries. It was such an amazing experience. And I guess at the age of 15, you don't really expect that. And going back to school was very interesting afterwards. And yeah, I guess no one really kind of knew that I was going to the Commonwealth Games until like right before. So yeah, everyone was in shock and it was just, yeah, crazy experience.
Really, no one knew until you'd gone. How was it when you when you came back with a medal? How was that?
Yeah, no, that was even crazier. I remember standing up in assembly with the medal and
Oh,
um yeah, I think it just kind of surprised everyone. Like people knew that I was did athletics, but they didn't really, I guess, know at what level I kind of did athletics too, because I also tried to like hide the fact I had a disability in high school, which I can't believe I did that. Like looking back at it now, I'm like, I don't know why I thought like it would be like I guess a good idea to try hide it and like that I need to hide it because I honestly thought that I would get bullied and people wouldn't want to be friends with me if I had a disability, which I've realized like you can learn your true friends by actually like being your true self. So
yeah.
um yeah, ended up being yeah, I think it was cool to like educate the other people in my year group around disability, especially around like the Commonwealth Games time. And yeah, people are actually really curious to learn. I've realized they're not, yeah, judgmental, it's more curiosity.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if you educate them, then they'll know as well. But I know you mentioned before the other thing you were trying not to be, the annoying like 15-year-old sharing the room with those guys. But I think, especially like Maddie, like she went to her first Paralympics when she was 14 and the others started a bit young as well. So did they like talk to you much about that? Like, was that cool having other people that had been in the same position as you?
Yeah, Maddie definitely gave me a lot of pep talks before the race. I guess on the day of the race, I was so stressed out. Like I had the race in the evening. I went to go get my hair done from the salon, and it was not exactly what I wanted. I ended up finding a doctor to do my hair or something, but I was just so stressed out that day. And I saw my family early in the morning, and I was just crying in their arms because yeah, I was so like overwhelmed with the fact that I was representing my country, and it was going to be such like a packed out stadium, and I didn't even know what like I was going to even come going into it. I kind of just went into it just with kind of not really any expectations, but also I wanted to do my best and see what I could do. But yeah, Maddie definitely, I don't know, she like kind of made me feel like comfortable that like crying on race day is okay and like feeling nervous like actually makes you like shows that you care about it and it's something really important for you. Um, and I guess like that, yeah, I have a lot more to learn and a lot more time left in the sport, especially yeah, from the age of 15. So yeah, it really put into perspective how bloody amazing it was, but also that yeah, it was just such a good learning experience.
7 years later, obviously not 15 years old anymore at your first Com Games. You've got been to two Paralympics, you've got multiple world champs and medals as well. I feel like you're just always breaking records as well. And you're still very young, obviously in your early 20s, but it feels like, yeah, you're just always breaking records. But like what goals do you still have like on the track?
Oh, I want to see how fast I can go. I've run, well, 12:72 for the 100. I know that I can definitely go a lot faster. And same with the 400 as well. I really want to break that 60-second mark. And I think it is possible. And definitely, yeah, kind of seeing what else I can achieve and just represent my country many more times. That would be, yeah, very amazing. And I love this sport. It's done so much for me, so I might as well, yeah, try my best and stay in it for as long as possible.
Yeah. Oh, well, good luck with everything in the future. But I do have a bit of a random question. So I know that at big events when they're like broadcasting them, all the athletes will like line up and they'll like introduce them, and sometimes the athletes will do like a little wave or like blow a kiss or whatever it is. But do you have like a go-to move to do when you're on camera?
Well, I actually remember like for the 2018 Commonwealth Games, I had no clue what to do. And another athlete was talking about it before the race. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I think I've just like ended up I just do like a little wave to like the camera and then I wait do like a bigger wave to like the crowd. But I don't really have any kind of like cool things to do. But one thing I have like I do before a race, which has been caught on camera like many times, is I like to like I talk to myself like before the race and like kind of hype myself up and get myself in the mood. So there's been lots of things where I'm like just slapping my legs and be like, come on, let's go. And because someone like screaming a little bit. But yeah, I found like if I can hype myself up and just enjoy it, that's when I run better.
Just changing the topic a bit, not to be too negative. But yeah, I know that a big part of your story, and anyone that follows you on like social media knows that something you're very vocal about is talking about your like kind of invisible disability, because you've received some comments from people saying you shouldn't be a Paralympian or like you're not actually disabled, from what I've seen. But like why has it been so important for you to be able to spread awareness about that and like educate people?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been, I guess, well, a big part of my journey. Like, even though cerebral palsy is a physical disability for me, it is so mild and it just isn't visible to just any normal person unless you've actually got experience and understand what it is. And yeah, I've been posting on social media for yeah quite a while, but some videos and posts have definitely reached an interesting audience. And I think it was kind of back end of last year, one of my reels got quite a bit of traction, especially on Facebook. And the comments of it they kind of somewhat got to me because I just kept reading through them and so many people just saying like she's taking away these opportunities from real disabled people and she doesn't deserve to be here. And it was somewhat comforting to see people actually like educating everyone in the comments and kind of seeing, yeah, lots of people just like trying to tell people what it's actually about. And I guess partially it was my fault that I didn't say what my disability was in the reel, but I guess the whole point of the reel was to kind of say, like, you don't really need to know about someone's disability just to treat them in a good way and treat them like a human and be respectful and just treat someone how you want to be treated. Um, but yeah, I think now I've definitely come to the point where I guess those comments spark conversation and they get educated. Even if the person who is listening doesn't want to hear, hopefully some other people can, I guess, like get educated and learn more about disability and yeah, how it can come in so many different forms and it's just not one size fits all. And I think even the whole idea of the Paralympics, everyone kind of thinks that, oh, it's for people in wheelchairs, people missing legs, people who are really like got a severe disability, but it's actually a very broad thing. And I'm not taking away opportunities from real disabled people because I have a disability myself, but the classification I run in, everyone is so similar in terms of impairment. We are the mildest of the neurological condition impairments. So I think it's just people need to kind of learn and open their eyes and be willing to understand and yeah, take into like perspective like what like your comments actually, yeah, I guess mean to someone. And also more recently, I've somewhat like come out about like having ADHD. I got diagnosed about almost like a year and a half ago now. And for a long time I was so scared to like say online that I have it because I guess it's been a lot more like acknowledged in society and a lot more people are actually realizing they have it, but also a lot of people are just saying it's like a trend and it's just like fun to have type thing and kind of just yeah, really like ignoring like the actual impacts it has. And I just want to educate people on all things I guess, with invisible disabilities and my experience, and hopefully, like younger athletes or just younger kids with disabilities, whether it's a very visible disability or an invisible disability. I just want them to feel confident to talk about it and feel that they're not going to get judged and just have those open conversations with their friends so their friends can understand what it's all about.
Because I've chatted to some like athletes like Emily Petricola, gold medalist Paralympic cyclist, and she said that like her symptoms can kind of like vary like on the day as well. Like what has it been like for you? Like does it kind of vary as well?
Yeah, so I guess with CP, I guess it like stays kind of like somewhat level throughout your life, and sometimes I guess it can get worse, but other times you can also manage symptoms a bit better. But for me, I definitely have like good and bad days, and I really need to, of course, prioritize my sleep and nutrition, well, like every athlete. But I definitely notice it has a really big impact on my like balance if I don't get enough sleep. Also, the weather has an impact on me. I love racing in hot weather as long as it's not like too hot. In comparison to cold weather, because cold weather, my muscles just tighten and they like cramp and they just do not work as well. And I feel so stiff and it's just not very fun to race in those conditions. So I guess, yeah, it can definitely vary. And I definitely have some days where my balance is amazing and I have some days where I just, yeah, can't do exercises I could do.
Yeah, well, I didn't know the weather could like change things, so like that's pretty interesting as well. But I guess as well, obviously like things have come a pretty long way with para sports and them just being more visible on TV and everything. But we've got a home Paralympics in 7 years. Like, how do you think we're going with like creating opportunities and I guess visibility? Like for young kids, you spoke a bit about it before, but like how do you think we're actually going in the lead up to the games?
I think we're definitely doing a lot better in comparison to what it was many years ago. The Paralympic movement has 100% grown, and we have, yeah, really high class athletes. Like you have to be a full-time athlete training just to even make the team. And a lot of athletes who are very talented don't even, yeah, qualify for the team. And it's definitely I guess a lot bigger the Paralympic movement. But I definitely think there needs to be a lot more media visibility around para athletes, particularly just on a national level. I think we just need, I guess, local like news outlets and just like sports kind of realizing that we need to stop comparing able bodies and para athletes in terms of the fact that I guess pa able body sport has been around for a lot longer than para sport, and I guess globally you've got more depth in fields because, of course, you have just one 100-meter event compared to the para classifications. There are so many classifications that do 100 meters. So it's definitely something that I think kind of just needs a whole look at in terms of, yeah, how can we like build up the para athletes, especially in the lead up to Brisbane 2032, because the momentum's growing and people are getting interested in sport, but we also need to, yeah, keep the momentum going for the para athletes in particular and not take anything away from able-bodied athletes, but also just use it to excel para sport. And I guess hopefully we can get more athletes in the sport because that's something that I think we definitely I guess as a whole country, we definitely need more up and coming athletes. I guess we always do, but um, I guess yeah, need more young up and coming para athletes to continue the sport and continue the legacy and just enjoy the sport and feel inspired. And also another thing is I feel like lots of young para athletes, they're always kind of told that they have to become a Paralympian to be considered like a good athlete, or there's such a big idea around the fact that if you've got a disability, you have to be a Paralympian compared to if you're an able-bodied athlete, you have to be an Olympian. But that's 100%, yeah, of course not the case. So I think we just need to get more kids into sport to enjoy it, and you make lifelong friends, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah, well, I've seen like a couple of like programs aimed at trying to get more kids involved, like for 2032 Olympics, like and Paralympics. But like, what do you think needs to be done to like get more kids in? Is it like through common try days? Like, what do you think it is?
Yeah, I definitely think common try days. Well, I guess that's how I found the sport. So sport-specific common try days are very important, but we also need to, I guess, promote around the common try days because I guess if you can't see it, how do you know like it's possible? Because yeah, I had no clue about the Paralympics, and I wouldn't have known to go to a common try day unless someone told me to go to it. And I think also like promoting the current para athletes in the media today is very important because social media is so big nowadays, and if you just happen to be scrolling on Instagram and you just see this para athlete competing and I don't know, it's talking about their success or like what they're doing in the sport, and you go, oh my gosh, like I know someone with a very similar disability. I didn't realize they could become a Paralympian or they could participate in the sport of athletics. So visibility is, yeah, very important.
Yeah, well, I'm 100% with you on that point, and hopefully we'll see more coverage in the lead up to 2032. But
Yes.
just last, there is this question that I always ask an athlete at the end, which I think you kind of briefly mentioned before with like girls and women like staying in sport because they often drop out. But like from your own experiences, like what has staying in sport brought to your life? Like why has it been important for you?
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that I've stuck to the sport because I've seen so many people come and go in para athletics, but I think it's definitely like given me, well, definitely a purpose to wanting to compete and train. Like I want to, of course, push my body to its limits and I want to run the fastest I can for myself, but I also want to, I guess, keep seeing younger athletes and hopefully inspire a lot more athletes up and coming. And I just want, yeah, I want to be chased by some kids down the track in the near future. And I want someone to give me a run for my money. And yeah, I want to have to really fight for like a national title. So that's going to be, yeah, hopefully I leave a legacy where people feel inspired to participate.
Oh, I know you're definitely inspiring so many people already, but thank you so much, Rhiannon. It was so great to chat to you, and yeah, good luck with everything.
Thank you.